I hope everyone's having a good Friday night. I just wanted to get back to some of the comments I've received about the Dogecoin video that I posted earlier this evening. There's some confusion there, so to clarify, yes, I am skeptical of Dogecoin. I'm not currently trading Dogecoin. I know some of you might be trading Dogecoin, and to those of you doing that, I applaud you for your courage and your boldness and your risk appetite. If it fits your risk profile in trading or investing, then by all means. But the crux of my comments and my skepticism is really targeted at people who are very new to cryptocurrencies and maybe even investments in general. And to those of you, this is where I would fully express skepticism. See, the current situation is this. There has been, I can't deny it, a remarkable surge in the price of Dogecoin this year. Over the past several months, we've seen it. It is incredible. At this point, the market capitalization of Dogecoin surpasses actually 80% of the companies on the S&P 500. Even if you were to look at it from a period of last year, you'd see, I think it's close to 300,000% in its surge. So it is truly remarkable and very incredible to witness. And that has actually led to an itch of many of the people who are new to this to think and consider that this could be very well a sign of a lucrative rising investment class that they have to get into, pour their money into. And this is where I express my skepticism. See, despite the sort of surge we're seeing, if you were to really approach and you were to ask the staunch supporters of Dogecoin, why has it been this surge? They would not be able to give you fundamental reasons. And by that I mean they can't really give you reasons that relate to the validity of the tokenomics or the establishment of this currency in the mainstream markets. It would largely be based on more or less irrational reasons. And that's because by its very nature, Dogecoin was established as a parody, as a joke. It was established in a period of time, which currently we're a part of still, the digital gold rush in cryptocurrencies, where there's just been an emergence of cryptocurrencies everywhere. And so people and the creator of Dogecoin, they thought, since anyone could create a coin, why not we create this coin and slap the funniest meme that we can find on it, talking Shiba Inu, a dog, and see if people actually buy into it. And people actually did. It started as a community that could relate to the humor of it, which is so funny. And this sort of humor is so relatable by everyone that it was even picked up by public consciousness, by the media. It was such a quaint thing. It was very contrarian for what it is. It was really funny. And so it led to a lot of people buying into the humor. And the buying itself also led to other people who might not relate to the humor buying into it just because there has been people buying into it. But more the hardline crypto enthusiast investors that have actually studied the technology behind Dogecoin, they've said it's not equally remarkable. It's actually not at all. There hasn't really been true developments to it for a very long time, but yet the price is surging. And that's because that brings us to our second point. There is a hypothesis. It's called the boredom market hypothesis, which posits that the pandemic has actually created a new class and led to the emergence of a new class of social media investors. I've talked about this in one of my older videos on my Instagram feed. You can have a look. But essentially, we have witnessed with more or less the whole world locked down, people not being able to go out and maybe even work. A lot of them actually got into trading because there's so many different applications and brokerages offering easy access trading nowadays. And they're united by social media. They created communities on Reddit, on Facebook, and they found trading fun. It cures the boredom market. So they got into it. Now, the sort of dynamics that underlie the investment or trading decision for these investors, this new class of investors, is totally unconventional and totally different from traditional financiers. They may invest into something because they believe in it, they find it funny, or just to be contrarian, to challenge the establishment, to see how far they can push certain things, push together, push it to the moon even, or because they adore certain celebrities, even celebrity entrepreneurs like Elon Musk tweeting about it, or certain tweets or hashtags. These communities, they've actually become such a giant force. But again, all the reasons we've just stated just then, they are not fundamental reasons. They are irrational reasons. And so that what we can really see with Dogecoin, with what I've just explained, is that Dogecoin is very much defined by its irrationality at this point, not really by its fundamental usage. Some people might argue that one day there might be fundamental sort of conversion, but at this point, no, entirely irrationality. And because of that, that is a problem, because the more rational the reasons are for a certain change in the price movements, the more volatile it is, the harder it is for us to really analyze the reasons for price to change. And if we can't analyze it properly, besides just doing more or less this sort of meme zeitgeist cultural analysis of trying to see what the people are talking about on Reddit or on these groups, or whether this thing is still funny or cool, then the harder it is for us to control, really, to gain control of this investment, this trade we're getting into, even if it's technical trading. We can't really analyze it, so the less control we have. And the less control we have, then the fine line between trading / investing and gambling dissipates. Really, it does. You don't really have as much control. In the same sense that these irrational reasons are driving up the surge, who is to predict these reasons to change at any moment? And how can we predict and analyze that? It's very difficult to do so. It isn't conventional in a sort of financial model. And that is really where a lot of my skepticism is drawn from. People will get burnt by this because of that. We've already seen it happen. We've seen it this year with GameStop when I put a video out about it. After the mania, a lot of people got burnt because, again, yes, the ideal scenario for most traders is to get in while everything's going up. They want to make a quick buck. But what are the reasons driving their decision? They have none, because they have no analysis really. And they get in on it because they are more or less motivated by the surge. But then that's it. And at any moment, it could go bust. And a lot of people got burnt because of that. So for those people who are interested in Dogecoin, who are seeing this surge, be mindful that the surge is not indicative really of fundamental reasons that can sustain it. Rather, it's indicative of irrational driving forces, which makes it highly volatile, and at any moment this surge could also go bust. And that's the thing that we have to keep in mind.